Well, and I had 22 down was the starting score. Yeah, which I think makes the ending result, we're not going to give it away just yet, but what makes the ending result that much more impressive, because I know the amount of work it takes on your behalf to get from that starting point to where you ended up. As you started in on the actual process of working through the material, what was the biggest obstacle for you in that process?
I mean, for me, it was a huge time commitment because I already had like all of my homework and I was doing driver's ed at the time. So spending an extra like half an hour plus every night on ACT homework was just a huge like extra load. But when like the scores like on practice tests started to improve, I was like, okay, well, I can keep pushing through the extra time. And I have like a math science brain, but I could never score well in like math tests. So that was really frustrating, and that was also reflected on the ACT.
That she was matched with fantastic teachers. Being able for Donald to ask kind of what kind of learner, what like drives Ella, I think he's like, okay, I know just who the right matches are, and I think wouldn't you say they were really good matches?
Were there challenges with it being a virtual program, since you guys are in Massachusetts and the team out here is in California?
Honestly, it was kind of helpful because I even did a session on vacation.
Without it being available virtually.
It was a time that I wouldn't have been able to just like meet with someone, but it was the perfect time to just like hop on my computer here and just join the session.
Yeah.
As a mom, what was it like to watch your daughter go through this process?
It was, I feel like Ella's always been, I'm always telling her like that I feel like my job is to try and make sure that she's not doing too much. It's not, I have the fortune of not having to be the motivator. Let's get some help. And so.
Because I'm not jumping any lists with a 22. I could just like tell how like smart like Ian and Tiffany were. So I was just asking them questions about stuff was fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that boosted my confidence in the process, for sure.
Now tell me about what were the increases on the scores, right? So you start with that 22, then you see the practice test scores come in. What was that progression like? And then where did we eventually end up?
Well, I mean, the increases started off slow, I would say. Like, even on like the homework tests, I would say it took maybe a month and a half to creep up to like a 24, 26, 28. And it wasn't always consistent. Like, I think like maybe a couple of sessions in I got a 30 on like one math thing, and then I got like straight 26s the next like 2 sessions. So you hand over your academics life work in one email to a coach who shows it to an admissions liaison, and they're like, well, does she have a shot at getting in or not? So having a good ACT score that's like at or above the average like ACT of the school was just really validating going into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you come in with that 34 and you're into the top 1% of everyone that takes the test, and now you're really standing out just as an academic applicant, and then as being an athlete on top of it, you've really got something going for you. And then what happened when you applied to these colleges and heard back from them?
So on July 1st, I actually missed the call from my coach because I was at work and then didn't respond to their text about it.
Yeah.
So
Chris and I were like, have you heard from Ella? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, nope, me neither. Okay.
Yeah. So I got in the car after work, and I was cleared on the pre-read for Williams College. So now I'm committed to the admissions process there.
Yes.
For lacrosse.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to Williams and going to play lacrosse there.
Yes.
Well, that is very exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well earned for sure. And I think it also sets a really good example for other students how motivated you were during this process. I mean, it stood out to me that you said, one, you came to your parents and said, hey, I want to improve my score so I can stand out more in this recruiting process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it really pops that you've now taken the test twice officially. You've gone through this prep program. A lot of kids would just go, okay, I'm done with this now. Or a parent might step in and say, let's give it one more chance. But I love that in this case, it was you that just went and signed up on your own and then said, yeah, Mom, I'm going to be busy Saturday because I'm taking this test.
Yeah. It was actually the day of the lacrosse game too, so it was like,
wow.
just letting you know I'm going to take
You might
it.
want to call your coach and let her know.
Yeah, so we had to move a game and stuff because I was taking it. It was just kind of like I'm just gonna do it again.
No, Ella, Ella has that drive, and I try to, keep up as much as I can, and so I feel like Test Prep Gurus, like you guys are just a very good match for that.
I felt challenged.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that you realize that right off the bat, like, okay, like, no, this is really good. And like, this is gonna help me get to like reach my goals. Because I don't think Ella would have the patience if she felt like she wasn't gonna be challenged or if she wasn't watching her test scores start to go up. No, it was a really exciting day when she finally like reached that finish line.
And then
It's true. And by the way, it also opened doors at Amherst College. There were two schools.
Most of the NESCACs.
Yes,
but I chose Williams.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was helpful across the board.
Yeah, at a lot of excellent schools. And I also think it stands out as a really good example because you clearly are a bright student that can bring a lot to these colleges as a athlete, but also as a student, right? And colleges want kids like that. And that score could have held you back. And I think it's just a good positive message for everybody to go, okay, so you started at a 22, which was not representative of what you are capable of, clearly. And I really think now that we've moved away from looking at these tests as intelligence tests, and just as a test that measures this narrow bandwidth of information, but this narrow bandwidth happens to be very predictive of success in college. That should be inspiring to kids like you, where you go, oh, so if I put in the hard work, I can get where I want to go. I can move up from, you started in the 69th percentile and ended up in the 99th percentile, which is incredible, which is amazing. But I actually think the reason the tests are more predictive than ever is students like you who've realized they actually reward hard work, perseverance, grit, all the things that we want in a student, or that a college wants in a student. And so it's just a really wonderful example of what is possible for a student when they're motivated, just intrinsically motivated like you were to get where they want to go. And I know it's going to be inspiring to a lot of other students. So thank you for that, Ella.